think what I became kind of like a spiritual, a person who actually, became so spiritual that forgot about the God. We are gods, we are mirrors of God, but somehow I missed this divine element in it all. I think I became like, I lost the humility. Yeah, I lost the humility. So I've been working with coaches, and one day, when I realized that I forgot about God, that the part of my life that was always so important, I couldn't stop crying, and I apologized, and I said, how could I even forget about the greatest artist of all, you know? And I went to my woods, to the country park, and I started talking to him, and I could just feel those shivers of energy. And from that day, very miracles start happening. For example, well, I trust him completely. For example, I was doing a post on Facebook about the spirit animal Black Panther, because this is, I believe, my spirit animal. And I was preparing the post, and suddenly a message from my best friend comes up: Black Panther will take them there. And I said, how funny is that we are so synchronized that she sent me this message? But I wanted to finish the post, and I thought I'm going to ask her what she meant by that when I finished. So I finished the post, I go to Messenger, and there is no message. And I ask her, did you delete the message about the Black Panther? She said, I never sent you any message about Black Panther. Then a week later, I was with my earphones, and someone added me as a friend, but I didn't really pay much attention. But I accepted it, and I was on my on the headphones listening to the music, and suddenly a song which I already knew, they communicate through a song called Black Panther, start, and I received a message from this person. So I received a message from this person. This is a male who's got the same name as I have, and he said to me that he believes he's supposed to contact me because we have two mutual friends, but he said he felt the energy he's supposed to contact me. So I asked him, so why do you think you're supposed to contact me? And he said, I'm seeking for the truth. And during one of those channelings that I did, they said, you will be the truth giver, the messenger of the truth. So I said, I think you are in the right place. I mean, I don't want to sound wrong, but the guy is actually, so Dominic contacted me, and a few days before he contacted me, I started a new painting. They gave me a vision of new painting. It's not finished yet, but they told me to paint a symbol of Jesus Christ on the chest of this woman, like that, the fish. And when I looked at Dominic's picture on Facebook, his whole left arm is tattooed with exactly the same symbols, right? So I believe that is someone who maybe will be somehow connected to this mission. They have been giving me a glimpse, and I've been asking about this mission because I was so scared to admit it. A few months ago, I was driving the car, and suddenly I see this Jesus that appeared to me when I was young. And right after, they showed me the image of the painting that I did 2 years ago, maybe, called The Chosen One, right? So I thought, but in what way I am chosen one? And when the Jesus Christ came through the channeling, he said, my soul kind of signed a contract to bring back his light and love through my consciousness. Like his consciousness will enter my consciousness, and I somehow will be sharing that with people. I don't know how, and I don't, but I trust. Okay, I trust. I know that it will have something to do with healing people's mind healer, they say. It's also something to do with my hands that suddenly start giving a lot of energy, but I'm not pushing. I've been into Poland, and my granddad, for example, said he's got a pain in his back. So I just said, can you please show me where? So when I touched him, I'm bearing in mind he's over 80, he doesn't believe in magic, right? When I touched him, he said, Dominika, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? Because you touch me and that's so hot, like fire. And he immediately said, look, I can move better. And So you see, it's a lot, you know, it's been shitloads the past month, but as I said, I'm calming down. But they said to me, you need to finally speak out because you're holding everything in your throat chakra. And I always had this issue with speaking out because I would always come from a loser position when it comes to speaking out. So they tell me now it's time to speak out. And they've been constantly saying, Joe Penna, Joe Penna, Joe Penna. And I said, but Joe Penna is working with people like Marina Jacobi. They said, no, contact Joe Penna. That's what they said. So I thought maybe a way of a form of speaking out is maybe creating some video, or they said that you will know how to dress it and how to address it to others because you have the experience and you are the person who would ask the correct questions if we would decide to go ahead. So that's why I contacted you to tell the story. As a lot, I know.
It's a fascinating story.
But I feel so relieved that I finally said it out loud because I know it's important. I know it's, for some reason it will be important. That that the time for, you know, coasting for me is enough. They said this is a blank canvas, Dom. You are now starting a new creation. You let go of the past. You still have some insecurities, but you will be helped and you will be guided, and we always support you. But it's like the time is now, Dom. The time is now.
Now tell me, what do you feel ready to do?
I feel like I'm ready to jump. The past few days as well was a roller coaster a little bit because it's almost like I'm jumping in between two channels, like the old thinking about myself, why would I deserve it, you know, or things like that. But what they told me to do when I went to Poland, they told me, so I moved out from Poland 15 years ago and I used to journal a lot, write journals. And whenever I go to Poland, I would forget to take them with me. I left them in Poland. And this time they said specifically, you need to pick up those journals. So I picked them up and I start reading them. And these journals, written as a very young person, they're just so full of, you know, I wanted to die so many times because there was so many things happening. And they said to me, see how much progress did you make, you know? Sorry. So they said, why wouldn't you deserve that? They said also that I had to experience certain things so I can relate more to people, so I can feel people, you know? But they said, clearly, you will be tested a lot, but this is your blank canvas, Dom. That's what they said. So I trust them, you know? And whatever it takes, if my soul signed up for any kind of mission, the soul knew that I will be able to fulfill it. And if this is to do with this vision of Jesus Christ, if that's what I agreed to do, I'm more than happy to do it, you know, with open heart. Just don't know how. That's why I didn't know how to start. So they said, you need to tell your story.
In a sense, you have told your story just now.
Funny thing happened because the place where I was storing all of my paintings, they called me and they said, you need to take them because we need the space for something else. So I have all of my babies home as well. And I've been looking at them and reading the titles, and I was like, everything is just happening, you know? I created it, I mean, we create our realities through our thoughts. But I think our consciousness, we forgot about the free will. We forgot that we have choices, and our consciousness has been hijacked in a way. And it's time for people to bring their birthrights back, you know, the universal powers back, the love back, you know. Mm.
I'm curious, do you have any photos of your paintings?
I have all of them, yeah. This is one of the most recent ones. But this one was channeled with, I was in the woods, walking in the woods, and suddenly I can hear Raphael and Michael, you know, the archangels, and they gave me this vision and say, go, paint. So I was doing that for 6 hours, believe it or not. It's quite huge, but when you channel, it's very fast painting, you know, you just don't think, you just act. And the image of the model I was using, there was no hands, no palms, if you know what I mean, on a picture. And they started telling me, now paint open palms. And I said, but she doesn't have palms. And they said, find a new picture with open palms and merge those two. So I did it. And then they told me, put a golden coin in each palm and circle one with blue, circle the other one with green. And at first I thought that's their colors, you know, maybe they wanted to be somehow marked on this painting. But what I've been explained recently, that green is the heart chakra and the blue is the throat chakra, that I will be using them too to heal.
And when did you make that painting?
The end of last year. There's another painting, but it's in a gallery, but I do have pictures of all of them. Even before the corona came to a picture, I painted a painting called Isolation Makes Me Hungry. And it was about, you know, being trapped and isolated. So it was kind of funny. Now, last year also, last year I was sitting in my studio and it was evening and I finished my work and I was talking to some friends and suddenly on my right hand side, I see a guy, like a hologram of a young guy with a very funny mustache like Salvador Dali. And he said to me, see you in 2 weeks. And I thought, what? Oh my God. But I forgot about it. And exactly 2 weeks later, I got a friend request from someone, but I didn't accept it. So I was reminded it was popping up. So I accepted it. And it's a guy with a funny mustache like Dali. And it happened, he's an artist living in Australia, young artist, and we just, he said he found my art and he really liked it. That's why he, you know, communicated with me. And he asked me, what kind of music do you listen when you paint? And I said, oh, you know, this and that, whatever comes. And I asked him, and what do you listen? And he sent me his music. And when I listened to this music, I felt that from my backside, there is a cable growing, connecting right to the universe. And I was in such a high trance that within 1 hour, I created a painting of a male, where usually I create females. And I was like, and he was wearing a mask, like, you know, like a warrior mask. And I thought, why would I create such a strong masculine energy, you know? But it was so strong, I just throw it out. And whenever I was just passing by this painting, he was giving me this strong masculine, you know, feeling. And oh my God. And then at the beginning of the lockdown, I met a guy who looks exactly like him, but there is no lower part of the face. And I said to them, so why did you make me to paint them? You know, why didn't you make me paint the whole face so we can have the full picture of him, so it's even more incredible? And they said, well, didn't you meet him at the time when most of you were wearing masks? The painting was done last year, end of last year as well, and he manifested beginning of the lockdown when Corona started.
And how is it that you came to meet this gentleman?
Through some online spiritual site. He communicated with me.
And what was the significance of painting his image?
I don't know yet. I mean, I do know, but I'm waiting. I don't want to go. They always say to me, you rush, you are too much in the future. Wait and it will unfold, they say. But definitely very strong masculine energy. very masculine energy. Um, and the one that I started a few weeks ago, this is the biggest, I think, painting I did so far, because it's built up out of 5 canvases, and I had to attach everything to the wall this time, not on an easel. And it's huge. And they told me to, so I've been using QHHT, obviously, and I've been regressed myself, and I managed to find some, past lives. And it was amazing, because at one life I was a light living at the top of the pyramid with the light blue magnetic center that was stimulating the whole cosmos. And I said that normally this life would be so boring, but because the cosmos and the geometry in the cosmos is so beautiful, I feel so entertained. And there was like one side going inwards, the geometry, and the other one was going outwards. And they told me that to collect all the memories that I found through QHHT and implement all those consciousnesses into one person on a painting. So I did this, and then obviously they told me to paint the Jesus Christ fish on a chest. And yeah, so I can't wait, because I think the vision they gave me is quite spectacular. It's beautiful, but because it's so huge, and I'm still waiting for Leon to go back to school so I can have some time. It's not finished yet.
Okay, I'm not clear. Have you painted the individual's face?
Oh, with the fish, it's a woman.
And have you painted her face?
Yes.
Is it someone you know?
No.
What was the significance of the person with the mask again?
They said it will unfold. They said you are jumping out. You are jumping in a lot into the future. But I know that we have one past life together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll tell you what they told me about this person. So it was quite, because this person actually lives in Los Angeles. But when I seen this picture of him on this spiritual groups, I didn't connect. I didn't get any feeling. But when he called me and I realized he put this picture when he was maybe 10 years younger or something, and I saw his face, I was like, I know you. I knew that I know him. And then when I had my regression, I found him in a past life where he was taken to a war and he never came back. And I died with a broken heart. So they said to me that we finished in separation and we are starting now with a separation. There's the ocean. And I believe that the mirror that he is showing me now is I believe he's my self-love. He's mirroring my self-love. And the ocean is the ocean of either insecurities or whatever, because everything is for a reason. So they told me, Dom, what do you think would happen if you guys live like close and meet? I said, well, obviously at the stage when we met, that would be nothing significant, because my self-love, at the beginning of lockdown was something that was just screaming for help, like shouting. And he told me about the same without even, knowing that I go through the same. So I believe that we are mirroring the self-love, but how it will unfold, they are constantly saying, you know enough. And what they tell me a lot is that you need to trust this divine element in it, this higher self, this part of you that knows better, instead of trying to control everything and figure everything out right now. Just be in the now. Don't live in the future, they say. Just be in the now, and it will unfold, they say.
That is one of the most challenging things to have to do, isn't it?
As a human being, yeah.
Aside from telling your story, do you have any ideas of things you want to do?
So I believe I will be guided. I think it was crucial for me today to speak to you and tell you what's the matter. Yeah, I think, yes, they say there is this element of trust to divine, and it will come. It's important to take action and be creative, but then also include this, this divine element. So I feel maybe let's take a day or two or however long you need to maybe. They told me this morning that Joe will know what to do and how to do it. And I will be listening to. And if they will say anything, I can communicate with you. One thing I wanted to tell you, because that just came to my head, so that came for a reason. They showed me how to to see beyond, and by that I mean the Holy Grail is always, they say, is always done under your nose. All your potential future, your past, your even past lives, is everything is coded around you. It's all a game of mirrors. And see, when I had that moment when I reminded myself about God, the next morning they woke me up again, and I woke up with like a black background, and on the black background I see D.O.M. which is my artistic nickname, DOM. And this artistic nickname, I think maybe I was 19, and I was just starting my studies, artistic studies, and a friend of mine came to me because I said, I don't want to really use my last name because I have two other artists in the family and I just want to be me. And he said to me, why don't you use DOM? Everyone will think it's from your name. But he told me at that time, it actually means everything you have comes from the God, and everything you do goes back to the God. And I was completely assured that this is the exact translation of this Latin Dio Optimo Maximo. But when they showed me that on a black background, they said to me, now Google it and see exactly what it means. And actually it means the greatest God. And I said, okay. And then they said, now check the meaning of your name, each name that you have. I have 3 names, Dominika, Kinga, Magdalena. And they said, what does Dominika mean? And it says, gift from God. I said, okay. And then they said, now, if you are a mirror of God, then it means that you are MOD. And they say, now check what MOD means. It was like, they've been telling me. And MOD means modification. And they said, now use Spotify and put M.O.D. into Spotify. And one band came up called exactly like that, M.O.D. And the first song that was there was Per Aspera ad Astra. So through the struggle to the stars. And that was one day after a very strong 4.5-hour session when I was releasing the past, with a therapist. And that was a lot. And I could feel the pain of people from my family, the struggles, my struggles, and was why as souls we take so much on, to experience such a negative and strong and heavy emotions. And the song was Per Aspera ad Astra. And then the title of the album was 4 days to Agone. And I didn't understand the Agone word. So they say, check. So I did check, and Agone means actually to start. So it was 4 days to start. It was 10th of July, and the 14th of July was my birthday, when after a very long time, I decided to travel to Manchester to finally see my parents that I excluded somehow from my life because I was stupid. So I went back to take my life, to welcome myself on this planet. And it was amazing. And they say, see, the drawing on the album was a butterfly, which I thought that was hilarious, and they always say, see, Dom, the Holy Grail is always under your nose. Everything is encoded, in everything that surrounds you. In a simple leaflet that comes through your door, there's information everywhere for you. Humans don't know how to look. That's what they showed me.
I am aware of that kind of coding that exists within our lives. What would be fabulous is if we could get training on understanding that coding so that we can begin to see everything in our lives from a standpoint of what can I understand more about my life or myself by looking at things around me.
Mhm. Mhm.
That would be a great teaching.
It is a great teaching because when I start seeing things, for example, one day I was low at energy, and a friend of mine came with early birthday present, which was a set of like body lotions and things like that. And guess how were they called? Energy rays. And they sometimes like see don't because they were like showing me how to see everything is in front of you, every single information is in front of you. Obviously they like to communicate with me through the songs, and it's great because I'm very conscious now when I'm listening to music, very, very amazing. And there's so much more to our lives, there's so much more to us as humans. And when you let go of the old knowing and welcome the new knowing, this is the beyond I was searching for when I was a little child. What's out there, mom? What's beyond? And I found my beyond, and it's amazing. And I couldn't be more grateful now to be able to experience like this message with Black Panther. It was almost like a God sent me a message, and miracles are happening all around us. We just often dismiss them through ignorance or disbelief. But what if we allow it? How much our life would change? What if we allow this divine element to play such an important part, instead of, trying to control everything?
You mentioned the experience that you had with your grandfather, with your hands.
Mhm.
Do you have any awareness of anything that you will be doing with your
Mhm.
ability?
For some reason, yes, there will be something that I will be putting hands over people, more like maybe heads.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I have my past in also in Arcturians, Lemurians, and when I tried to study Reiki, I couldn't get through it. I was like, no, I knew, I knew that for myself. I have to do it the way I feel it. So there is something, but I wasn't expecting my granddad to feel anything because he doesn't believe it, and he asked me to come and do the whole healing on him and his wife, and I was blessed them. But I felt privileged that that he allowed me to do it, and he trusted me because that helped to trust myself. So I know that they probably did it, so I can experience that, which is great. But they say slow down again, slow down. It will come. It will come. Not everything at once. They say self-love. Yesterday, no, this morning I had, first of all, self-love, still self-love, shower yourself, make a space for the Christ consciousness to enter, and then just trust and you will go. They say, don't rush, don't rush. Mm. Thank you, Joe, that I could tell you. I'm really grateful that I could tell you everything, because I feel like I could tell you, like, like I could tell you everything as it is. I didn't have to pretend to be any less or any more than it is, just how it is. The Jesus part is something that was the biggest test for me.
What was a challenging part of for you?
Believe that I can't be the chosen one for him.
Would it help to know if there were others who were also chosen ones?
I know there are others, but I don't know them.
Yeah, it's not like we all belong to a club, right?
It would be nice to have a club like that. Yeah, because I think the struggle for me is, my family learns to accept me the way I am now. I do have good friends that I can communicate through, some communicators, but essentially most of the time I'm on my own with my son when two realities are being clashed, the reality that I'm learning to accept, the beyond reality, and then, very nice grounding reality to be a mom to my son. And it's amazing because it actually keeps you grounded, so you don't, lose the actual life, because they always say, and Dolores would always say that you need to live and experience this life, this is your job to do as well. So it's great. But sometimes I feel like even those friends that I have, I can't really share everything with them. I know I can share it with this guy from Los Angeles because he gets it, he understands it, but I didn't tell him all that because he's got his own things. He's learning a lot now, so I didn't want to drop a bomb on his head.
Right. How do you feel now that we've talked?
Well, very much but much lighter. Yes, much lighter, and it wasn't that difficult actually.
Not at all, was it?
Let me just take a moment and just say, I'm so grateful, Joe, because I remember the minute I was introduced to Marina and those webinars, you have such an amazing energy. And I feel like, honestly, I've been so gifted that even we could talk right now, I can't even express in English, but I feel so grateful, so grateful.
Whew. Thank you for saying so.
You need to believe it. Yeah, take it with an open heart, because it comes from my heart. It does. Because today you helped me massively.